Trump has ordered what he calls a total and complete blockade of sanctioned oil vessels heading into and out of Venezuela. Trump warned the U.S. naval armada already deployed in the Caribbean, including the world's largest aircraft carrier. It will continue to grow until Venezuela returns what he claimed were oil, land and other assets stolen from the United States. Trump accused what he called the illegitimate Maduro regime of using oil revenues to finance drug trafficking, human trafficking, murder and kidnapping. Venezuelan government sees the U.S. deployment as an attempt to overthrow President Maduro's government and seize the country's vast oil wealth under the guise of anti-drug operations. On Tuesday, the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration issued a renewed warning, urging civilian aircraft to exercise caution in Venezuelan airspace, citing worsening security conditions and heightened military activity. The alert follows a reported near collision between JetBlue aircraft and a U.S. Air Force refueling plane near Venezuela, that is. An incident, the airline says, was reported to U.S. authorities, and the warnings have disrupted air travel across the region, with several airlines avoiding Venezuelan airspace altogether now. Venezuela has complained to the UN Security Council over what it calls the illegal seizure of its oil tanker by U.S. forces in the Caribbean and has demanded the release of crew members aboard the seized vessel. And UN Human Rights Chief Volker Turk urged Venezuela to immediately release all those people detained for their activities in civic space.
I urge the unconditional release of all those arbitrarily detained for their activities in civic space, including Rocio San Miguel, Javier Tarazona, Carlos Julio Rojas, Eduardo Toros, and Kennedy Tejeda, their families, and 4 teenagers who remain in custody after the 2024 elections.
Former Mexican President Ernesto Zedillo said Venezuela's political crisis must be resolved internally, rejecting any foreign military intervention. Former Colombian President and Nobel Peace Prize laureate Juan Manuel Santos echoed that view, warning that a military invasion would unleash uncontrollable violence. And the Chilean president-elect Jose Antonio said that he supports ending the dictatorship of the Venezuelan president.
I support any situation that ends a dictatorship, a narco-dictatorship. We clearly cannot intervene in that because we are a small country, but we are victims of the terror that comes from having a dictatorship.
Back in the U.S., lawmakers were briefed on the military buildup and deadly boat strikes near Venezuela, with Republican leaders calling these actions necessary to protect U.S. interests. U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth said there are no plans as of now to release the unedited video of the September 2nd strikes on a suspected drug trafficking boat in the Caribbean.
Appropriate committees will see it, but not the...